Ted Kravitz made a very important observation at the beginning of the 2025 Formula One season. He said Lewis Hamilton might not be the same driver he used to be, but maybe that isn't such a bad thing, because the Hamilton we're seeing now could be even more dangerous. After back-to-back strong performances in Imola and Monaco, it's clear that Hamilton isn't at Ferrari to take a final lap of honor. He's here to make a statement. He's here to fight. He's here to win. At the start of the season, many people were unsure. There was excitement, of course, but also a lot of doubt. People thought Hamilton's move to Ferrari was more about emotion and nostalgia than real performance. Many believed he was beginning a farewell tour, not another serious campaign for a world title. A few podiums, maybe a race win or two. That's what most people expected. But Hamilton clearly had other plans. Even in early testing, there were signs that something serious was happening behind the scenes, and Ted Kravitz was one of the first people to notice. He pointed out something very specific, a unique aeroprobe setup on Hamilton's SF-25. While many brushed it off as a typical data-gathering tool, Kravitz knew it was something more. He suggested that Ferrari was actually shaping the car around Hamilton's driving style. That level of trust and commitment from a team is extremely rare, especially in the first season with a new driver. Normally, it's the driver who adapts to the car. But this time it looked like Ferrari was doing the opposite, and now several races into the season, that decision seems to be paying off. The SF-25 is no longer just a car struggling to find its rhythm. It's starting to look like a real contender. And Hamilton is beginning to look like the driver who once dominated Formula One for years. In Imola, the signs of change were clear. Hamilton qualified ahead of both Aston Martins and showed strong pace in the practice sessions. More importantly, he looked confident. That's a key word. Confident. Not just fast when everything is perfect, but strong in traffic, aggressive, when overtaking, and smart with strategy. That's the Hamilton that made history. The one who doesn't just wait for the perfect conditions, but creates opportunities through sheer will and skill. The Imola race wasn't perfect. He didn't win. But the point isn't just the result, it's the way he drove. The telemetry told the story. Better braking zones, improved tire management, and a stronger understanding of how to push the SF-25 without overdriving it. He wasn't just in the car, he was starting to become one with it. And that makes all the difference. After the race, even Kravitz sounded surprised. The tone had shifted. This wasn't just about being comfortable anymore. It was about being dangerous, because a comfortable and confident Hamilton is a serious threat to everyone on the grid. Then came Monaco, and Monaco, as every F1 fan knows, is not about the car, it's about the driver. The streets of Monte Carlo are narrow, bumpy, and unforgiving. There's no room for error and no room for excuses, and Hamilton delivered. He showed precision, bravery, and complete control. In qualifying, he danced through the corners, brushing the barriers, pushing the limits. That wasn't a driver taking it easy. That was a driver hunting for every tenth of a second. Even his race strategy, which some initially criticized for being too safe, turned out to be the right one. When the red flag came out and chaos unfolded, Hamilton found himself in the best possible position. That's not just luck, that's race awareness, that's experience, and most of all, that's hunger. The expression on his face after the race said it all: calm, focused, hungry. Hamilton knows what's ahead. And Ted Kravitz knows too. The SF-25 is no longer a question mark. It's becoming a serious machine, and Hamilton is the one shaping it. Let's take a moment to talk about the car itself, because this is not just about one driver performing. Well, it's about the team finally delivering a stable, reliable, and competitive platform. The corner exit problems that haunted Ferrari in 2023, gone. The tire degradation issues that kept them from competing in longer stints, improved. The steering feedback and rear-end control, both of which Hamilton criticized during early testing, have been addressed. The result? A car that Hamilton can now trust. And when Hamilton trusts the car, he drives differently. The telemetry shows smoother throttle use. He's braking later. He's carrying more speed through the middle of corners. These aren't just numbers. They're signs of a driver getting the best out of his machine. And that only happens when a team listens. And make no mistake, Ferrari is listening to Hamilton. This is a two-way relationship. Hamilton isn't just showing up and driving the car they give him. He's giving feedback, pushing for changes, leading development. Ferrari's engineering team is responding, and the results are starting to show. That kind of evolution doesn't happen unless there's deep respect between driver and team. But there's more to this story than just car performance. There's a psychological shift happening too. At Mercedes, towards the end of his time there, Hamilton looked tired. Not physically, but mentally. The politics, the constant damage control, the missed opportunities, they all took a toll. You could see it in his posture, in his interviews. Even in his team radio messages, he was drained. But now in red, everything looks different. He's walking with more purpose. He's speaking with more clarity. There's a lightness to him, but also a sharpness. He's not just enjoying himself, he's leading. And the people around him are responding. The engineers, the strategists, even the mechanics, they all seem more energized. That's what great drivers do. They don't just drive the car. They lift the entire team. And that brings us to Charles Leclerc. Coming into this season, many assumed Leclerc would be the clear number one at Ferrari. He's been with the team for years, he knows the people, and he's delivered results. But now things are shifting. Not because the team is playing favorites, but because Hamilton is earning his position. Through consistency, through experience, and through pure racecraft. What about Red Bull? Max Verstappen is still the benchmark, no one is denying that. But even Red Bull is starting to show signs of strain. Their setup window is narrower. Their upgrades aren't delivering the same huge steps forward, and most of all, Max doesn't look like he's having fun anymore. You can hear the frustration in his radio messages. When things don't go perfectly, the mood changes. That unbeatable aura from 2022 and 2023, it's starting to fade. Now we also have to talk about McLaren. Their development speed is incredible. Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris are driving at a very high level. If Ferrari or Red Bull slip, McLaren is right there to take advantage. They're not just filling space on the grid. They're a serious threat. But here's the key difference. Hamilton doesn't need to beat everyone right now. He just needs to stay close. If he can keep finishing strong, stay within reach, and keep Ferrari in the development race, then the second half of the season becomes very interesting. Because when the summer break hits, teams bring their biggest upgrades, and you can bet that Ferrari will have something big in the works. A package developed with Hamilton's feedback, a package designed around his strengths. When that happens, the balance of power could shift. What we're seeing now is not just a couple of lucky weekends, it's the foundation of something bigger, something long-term. Hamilton isn't just adapting, he's building. This brings us back to Ted Kravitz. He saw it early. He noticed the aero probe. He understood what it meant. At first, even he had doubts. But now, he's rethinking everything. Because the driver he saw in testing is not the same driver we're seeing now. That driver has evolved. That driver has found a new gear. Hamilton is not here to take pictures in a red suit. He's not here to smile and wave. He's here to win, to fight, to rewrite history. This isn't the end of his career. This is the most important chapter yet. He's chasing something no one has ever done before, an 8th world title. And he's doing it with a team that believes in him, with a car that's finally matching his ambition. So yes, maybe it's still early in the season. Maybe there are still a lot of unknowns. But if you've been paying attention, you know this feels different. Hamilton isn't just back on form. He's creating something new, something powerful. And the rest of the grid should be watching their mirrors closely. Because Lewis Hamilton is not done. Not even close. In fact, he might just be getting started. And if Ferrari keeps building the tools he needs,